Hi everyone. Good afternoon. I'm super excited to be here today. I've been looking forward to this. I've missed you all. Let me know when you join in, and I would like to know where you are joining in from. So I'm Lola Aneke, and I welcome you to another episode of Finding Help with Special Needs. So this is a weekly Sunday live broadcast we'll be having. And guess what? It's going to be totally different from the regular speed dial and the old Finding Help with Special Needs we usually have. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. So I'm going to act like a teacher and I'm going to explain what you should look out for. Remember, I work with children with special needs, so it's better for me to let them know what's going on. I'm not saying you are individuals with special needs, but that is who I am. I just like to make everything clear. So today we'll start with a topic which was titled A World Apart. So after talking about that for roughly about 20 minutes or 30 minutes, we invite in our guest. That will be the guest segment. And then she'll be telling us, we'll ask her a few questions. She'll tell us about different things. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag yet. I just want us to just go on with today's discussion. Okay, so I thought to title this discussion A World Apart. And what does that really mean? A world apart when it comes to individuals with disability is that, to me, it means that despite the fact that we are in the same world and we have different people, different individuals with special needs, individuals without special needs, black, white, and all of that, we still find out that some people are still being segregated. They're in another world apart in the entire world we're in. And that is the reality of individuals with special needs. Take, for example, what's going on right now, the COVID-19 situation. It's been a challenge for individuals with disability in every sphere. Even before the COVID-19, the pandemic began, we always noticed that the world is not as inclusive as we talk about it. You know, we keep talking about, oh, we practice inclusive education, the world is inclusive, we consider individuals with disability. But the reality of the matter is, these are all words that we say, there's no action. Even most of our policies, there have not been serious implementation. You know, the other day I was talking about the various policies we had, the Child Right Act with the Prohibition Against Persons with Disability Act, and even the Inclusive Education and Special Education policies. There's so many fantastic and robust policies. These are all fantastic and robust policies, but we don't take conscious effort to ensure that the world is indeed an inclusive world for individuals with disabilities. Now, I'll go into a few things. If you look at our health sector, you realize that it's a world apart for individuals with disability. If you look at our educational sector, it's also a world apart for individuals with disability. If you look at what other sector, employment, our employment labor market, it's a different world for individuals with disabilities. Think about it. Let's be real right now, because we're going to have real conversation this evening. Let's be real. What are those things? But I won't want to go into every of those other sectors. I'm going to go to the one that brings it home. You know, when I was preparing for this, I remember a quote by Malcolm X, and it says, "Education is a passport for the future. For tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today." And for me, this just drives it home. What is exactly happening today? We have issues of individuals not being included even in the alternative plan for them to be educated at this COVID period. I remember being on a particular platform a couple of days ago, and we're thinking, what is the reality of individuals with disabilities? Are they indeed being educated? We're all talking about e-learning, we're talking about telepractice and all of that. How many of these individuals, what percentage of these individuals are really being included in all of this? And we bear our mind, everybody, we all agree that nothing much has been done for individuals with disability when it comes to educating them during this COVID period. And the truth is that it just showed that we had our loopholes, but it's staring us more in the face, because this is the real thing. Remember what I said, education is a passport to the future, but tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. Yesterday was pre-COVID. That we really prepared. Let's say, okay, came to us suddenly, to everyone suddenly, but it was quite easy for us to switch, to alternative means of educating students. But we didn't really think of those individuals with disabilities. I know this for sure, because even at my organization, we couldn't reach out to those parents from very poor socioeconomic background. We couldn't. We did our best. We tried to make phone calls. The best we do for them is just to call in every day to see how the child is doing. Some of them don't even have the phone that has a radio device on there where you could even say, okay, I'm going to be doing some recording and send to them. Some of them don't have phones with Androids. They don't have Android phones, So it's been a very tough and challenging time right now. But I'll go into some of the various things that has been identified as the challenges of these individuals right now, this moment. And that's why we've set the world apart. Let's look at what is going on. And as individuals, like I keep saying, there's no use pointing accusing fingers at anybody. We are all responsible for the growth of our nation. Everyone is responsible. We are responsible for that next door neighbor. We are responsible for that child with disability. As parents, as teachers, as individuals, there's something we can do. Your little is much to that next person. Your little is much to that person with disability. Don't just fold your hands and say, look, I can't do anything. I'm not a teacher. Oh, I'm not the government. Oh, I'm not a specialist educator. So there's really nothing I can do about it. There's something you can do. As little as you sharing about the realities of individuals with disability will go a long way. You finding out what is actually going on. I thought I had seen it all. I thought I knew it wasn't working based on my experience, or some of the experiences I've shared and I've heard people share with me about the realities of individuals with disability at this pandemic time period. I was emotional. Thank you so much for those that are just joining in. Chikoji, I see you. Apology, I see you all. Thank you all. So this is a discussion that you can put in your comments. Let us know what you think about what is going on at this time, particularly with regards to individuals with disability. And today's title is A World Apart, which is a reality, is a truth. We are in the same world with individuals with disability, but it's a world apart. Recently there was something that struck me when I was speaking with someone about this issue. And he said, Lola, look, reality and dream are two different things. You might have a dream, okay? I wish and wish and wish. Remember that saying, if wishes were horses, beggars will ride. But the reality is, where the dream comes to reality is the work that we need to put in there. So we cannot just fold our hands and just say, oh, it will be well, or it's just for this period. When I was trying to say something earlier, when someone said to me, one of the individuals living with disability said to me that in the last 12 weeks, it's almost 12 weeks now that school have been shut down. They've not had any form of education. Nothing has been going on. They do not have access to any form of technology, even the minimum, like the TV and basic technological tools that you can use. They don't have that. This broke my heart. And the truth is that, we had some government officials there and they said, oh, we've been doing this, or they've been having lectures and all that. So it's one thing to be thinking about something, it's another thing to bring it into reality. And it doesn't all have to be perfect. Just the little you have at that particular time, just the little you can do will make a whole lot of difference. While we're at the program I was talking about, I'm trying to identify some of the issues that we actually highlighted, and these are just simple basic things that we never really thought about and felt we all never felt it could be beneficial to these individuals. So I'll go real quick into some of those things that we identified. Okay, some of the challenges we identified. Okay, so we said access is a barrier. So most of the individuals living with disabilities are from, not all of them, but quite a number of them are from very poor socioeconomic background. Therefore, they do not have access to basic technological tools that they can use to access education. That was one. The other thing we talked about was that we don't have enough teachers that are well trained and equipped to provide telepractice or e-learning services to these children. So it's indeed a world apart for this individual. So what are we going to do about it? We also talked about, I'm going to quickly, we talked about, what other challenges we talk about? We talk about power. Okay, we said even if they have technology and they have basic access to technology, just such as the TV or the radio or even Android phone, power is erratic in this nation. So what are we going to do to ensure that this takes place? So we identified a few things. I think there was one more thing we identified, okay? We also talk about the tools. Some of them need braille. If we're still going to be teaching online, individuals with visual impairment, how do we have the resources for them to be able to access the braille? Do they have that? Do we have it for real? And that's just the truth. We do not have it. Remember what I read to you earlier: education is the passport to the future. For tomorrow belongs to those who prepared for it today. Now, COVID-19 has come. Yeah, we don't know how long this will be last, or we don't know when it will be over. But we are here today. Let's forget what happened yesterday. Yesterday we were not prepared. We did not think of access to various internet service providers. We did not think of access to technological tools for these children to access education. We're not thinking of what we do if, I mean, power had always been erratic. We're not thinking of what are the alternative means we can put in place just in case this happens. So that was yesterday. We did not think of how do we educate and train our teachers when it comes to using technology. I mean, education and technology, special education and technology. There are several things that can be done. There are some basic things that we can do. We did not think of that. Now, today, this era right now, we are here right now. Tomorrow is going to be probably the next pandemic. We're going to have something else that will keep us indoors for months, and we need to educate our children. Remember, it was Nelson Mandela that said that education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. It says, I have a lot of educational quotes all around me because that's what keeps me motivated, okay? Okay, so, excuse me. I just got a notice. So education. So education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. If you're not thinking of the way forward for our individuals with disabilities, then it's indeed a world apart. And if we're talking about justice in every way, lately we talked about justice against, the black race. We're talking about justice for individuals who are raped. We're also talking about justice for individuals with disability. They have the right to education. I remember the Child Right Act when I was looking at it critically just a few days back, and I'm like, this says children with disability, all children have the right to free and appropriate primary education. So why do we discriminate? Why are we not being inclusive? Why are we not being inclusive of them when it comes to education? Now that we've identified some of those challenges, what are the things we can do? Is a question. What can we do to ensure that in us, the fact that we're in one world, but individuals with disabilities are seen in another world apart, they're in a world apart from us. What can we do? So like I said in the beginning, we don't have to wait. And so the government, we're waiting for the implementation of the policy. Oh, well, there's nothing I can do. There's something that you can do. There's really something you can do. What do we do as educators, as a teacher? You need to equip yourself. Thank God for technology. Thank God for, there are several trainings out there. Most of them are free. They're free trainings on how to use technology to teach, even to teach children with disabilities. So if you're a teacher out there, please avail yourself this opportunity. Ask questions. There are various platforms online where you can easily just reach out to them. And the truth is that I've been on those platforms for the past 12 weeks. And this people have been so gracious. The moderators of this platform, the admin, have been so gracious to throw out free trainings on how to get students educated, how to get children with special needs educated. I've done several trainings, free trainings on how to get children with special needs educated. So please, it's not enough for you to say, I'm a teacher of children with special needs. Access to what you're teaching is very important. They need to be able to access that, and you are the one that needs to equip yourself, upskill yourself, so that these children can actually benefit from what they are meant to learn. Remember, education is the most powerful weapon that you can use to liberate any nation. And children with disability, particularly children with learning disabilities, even children with Down syndrome, intellectual disability, they are not dumb, they can learn. So let's not keep putting them into another world. Let's stop making them be in another world or making it a world apart for them. Let's ensure that we keep ourselves as teachers, we keep ourselves as even as parents. Parents, you have a lot of work to do. You can. We've trained several parents, and guess what? For me, those parents, they're even doing a lot better because they understand the challenges that their children are going through. They understand the particular area that the child needs help with. And so when they get themselves trained and equipped on how to use technology to teach these children, then the learning is easy for individuals with disabilities. So please type in your comments. I see most of you here right now. I can see you're joining in, you're listening, but guess what is a conversation this afternoon? And it's going to be what all of us, so I've thrown it out there, one, access to trainings on how to use technology to reach children with disabilities. One of the challenges we highlighted, and we're not just going to throw those challenges out there. We're also going to look for ways we can make it, we can put an end to those challenges. It may not end at this it may not end in a day, but the more we all keep making it our responsibility to ensure that individuals with disability are not apart from us in this same world, then the better the world will become for every one of us. Because really and truly, disability is here to stay. Really and truly, children with special needs will always be in our midst. And if you're talking about justice, then we should also think of ways to ensure that these individuals are being included in our educational system. We talked about access to technology. I remember there's this lady, and she was talking about some of us have laptops we're not using anymore. And if you check, if you really care, really, there's that child around you right now. You know, I was at a forum the other day, and someone was saying something about them doing technological yard sale, where, you know, how we do sales in our yard. I know there's COVID, yes, but we can have our mask on, knowing that this is a problem right now. I have 1 or 2 laptops I'm not using anymore, but it can still function to help that child with disability to access education. I have a tab I'm not using anymore that will help this child to access education. Let's come together. You can even do it online. You can do it physically in your vicinity and say, this is a special yard sale for technology for those with disability. I know that right now, e-learning and telepractice is a way forward to educate our children during this COVID period. You can come together with 2 or 3 or 4 of your friends. Any old phone you're not using anymore, any laptop you're not using anymore, any tab you're not using anymore. Let's put it out there. You might want to charge a little for it, and since you're not using it anymore, really and truly, it's just lying down there. If you really check, it's just lying down there. Format the hard drive, clear it out, and make it as simple as possible that the person you're giving it to would be able to use it to access education at this time. And please, I am talking particularly for individuals with disabilities. So I know everybody, we all have a need right now when it comes to access to education. But for this purpose, it's strictly for individuals with disabilities. So I've talked about trainings. Please, let's get on board. We'll be training out a lot of free trainings out there. I'll put information out there. There are lots of forums online where you can get access to free trainings on, and even if it's paid, it doesn't matter. Just prepare, make the world a better place. Enough of segregation. Individuals with special needs, the reality is that there's a world apart from us, and we need to be empathetic enough. We need to understand that the more we do not educate these individuals, the harder it is for them, and it's going to be harder for us, because then the competition. There was a statistic I read, a research I read the other day, and it said most of the individuals in prisons, who are involved in crime and all of that, are individuals with disability, because they've not been given a chance or access to education. Though the best way they know, the best thing that comes to mind, or the easiest thing that comes to mind, is crime. You know, so please, let's think of this topic, a world apart. What does it say to you? And what can you do to ensure that they are not a world apart from us? They're not being marginalized or being looked down upon when it comes to, or they're not being, what's that word again? Discriminated against when it comes to access to education. So remember, the first thing I said is that we all are to equip ourselves as parents, as teachers, as educators, get training so that we can get trainings that helps you to modify your teaching and your therapies in such a way that these children can access it via technology. Okay. The second thing I said is, yes, they may not have access to technology. Some of us have old phones, we have laptop, we have things, some of these devices that we're not using anymore. We can come up with ideas such as having a yard sale or an online sale as little as just 1,000 naira, 2,000 naira, or even free, And I'm open to suggestion. Anyone willing to do this, reach out to me and I'm good to go with you so that we can do our own. We don't always have to wait for the government. It's going to be a big project eventually and it takes long. But while we wait, the public-private partnership in our little ways, in your community, in your neighborhood, in your family, what can you do? Reach out to that parent, as an uncle and auntie, reach out to that parent and say, how is this child being educated at this time? What can I do to help? How can I get trained? What can I do to help? I have a laptop, I have a tab, I have something we can use to help these children access education. Now, another thing we talked about was access to internet services. It says, I know that I got an alert some weeks back about tariff going. Am I getting it right? Or you can send as many texts as possible. They were just a little bonus. There were bonuses here and there. But I think we can all raise our voices. Some of us working with these telecom organizations, you can speak in favor of individuals with disability. Yes, we may not have data, or we may not have the numbers, or we may not have the phone numbers of those parents that truly need it, but you can actually reach out to us online, reach out to those communities and say, look, can you just give me 10 individuals in your community that you know that they'll be willing to have online classes, but because of poor lack of access to internet services, and send out those 10 names, send out those 5 names. So we all have work to do. We can't just fold our hands and say, it's not my business. Look, our children will still have individuals with disabilities in their class. They will have them in the real world. And we don't want, we want the world to be a better place for these individuals. Okay. We want them. And if I have realized this, but I don't know, and I hate to sound like I'm being emotional when I'm talking about individuals with disability. These individuals are the set of people who have met that are quite intelligent. Oh, I've met quite a number of people that their sense of reason and innovation is out of this world. Give a child with autism your phone. This child will unlock your phone. Give a child with autism, they're always trying to find out, not even autism, some children with Down syndrome, some children with visual impairment, some children with hearing impairment. They are, how I think God compensates them in other ways. And that's how it comes in. Remember, we're talking about multiple intelligence. They are intelligent in different ways. Find out that way and let's use it to educate them even at this time. Okay, let's find ways to educate them. So if you're working in a telecom organization, MTN, now I forget some of the names, Airtel, Nine Mobile, and all of them, please, let's all do something. Let's lend our voices to say, you know what, we want these children to be educated. These are some of the challenges we are having. We talked about erratic power supply, even among the discussion we had, and I also highlighted that. What can we do? And you know what, as simple as solar panel, we can use to access electricity for these children. Community leader, local government leaders, let's consider this. It won't cost so much. It is doable, but we all have to come together. It's enough for us to start highlighting the problem. Oh, there's a problem. Oh, there's a problem. Let's start thinking of solutions so that we can make the world a better place for individuals with disabilities. There's several other things I would want us to consider, but please, yes, this somebody just said, Aduke, thank you for that contribution. Yes, it requires genuine love. We just have to, we need to understand that these individuals, they're going through a lot already, and the only way we can liberate them is to educate them. So we can't, it's heartbreaking to hear that a lot of individuals with disability in the last 3 months have not had any form of access to education. Yes, the government is meant to do something, but as individuals, as organizations, as private bodies, let's be our brothers' keepers. This is possible. We have individuals around us we can reach out to. As little as making a phone call to say, how are you doing? As little as saying, what is a plan? It's just child school, organizing anything online for these children. I am always just talking about education today, okay? And I want us to think about these things and think of the hows. How do we get this thing running? How do we ensure that individuals with disability have access to education? Okay. I remember one of the points that we said is also that we don't have enough teachers. Yes, we don't have enough who are trained to work with children with disabilities. The academy, we have training for teachers that you can actually begin to work with children with special needs. Parents also can also work with children with special needs. Scarcity of materials, we can improvise, we can actually create things. A lady said to me 2 days ago, so some of these things are just, you need to put paper and think about it, things in your environment that you can use to be creative as a parent, as a teacher, to ensure that these children have access to education at this trying time. Yes, scarcity of funds, we understand that, but we can still improvise. We can use our old. So ideally, average price of a laptop is about 70,000 or 100,000 and above. But if you have an old one, let's improvise. It's not all about money. Let's reach out to people and say, look, I have this laptop. The blessing that comes with giving is, for me, is you can never quantify it. So let's have a large heart, okay? Let's be empathetic, let's be passionate, let's be compassionate, okay? Let's be understanding. Let's know that these individuals are individuals first before the disability, and they're willing and they'll be more than happy to learn and also contribute their own quota to the development of our nation. But we need to give them time. We need to give them the opportunity to do that. Okay. Yeah. So these are some of the points that I'll be talking to us today. I want to hear from us as we are. Yeah. So yeah, those are the things that, yeah. And then let's not forget that every child has his or her own unique learning style. So understand that child for who he or she is. Okay, in our classroom, you can if you're not careful, they could be a world apart. These children could be world apart, or they could be apart from us in our classroom, and we don't want to do that. It's by identifying the strength, okay, and be able to use it to ensure that they actually learn. And particularly this period, even when you're engaging in online learning, ensure that you carry your children with special needs along. Okay. I want to hear from us. I want to hear from us. Anyone out there, please talk to me. Any other thing you think I've not mentioned today, please feel free. It's an interactive section. Sorry, it's an interactive session with us today. And I've been speaking quite a lot. Any question for me? Any any question? Okay, while we are thinking of the question based on what I've spoken about today, we're going to our guest segments. And today we have a fantastic lady, a lady whose energy is, I can't even describe it. We're calling up on Miss Blessing Ngape right now. She'll be joining us right now. And here's Miss Blessing. Hello, Miss Blessing. Can you hear me?
Hi, I can hear you, Coach
Oh,
Lola. Good
wow, wow.
evening.
Good evening. Good evening. So good to have you. Now, I'm going to say a little thing about this
Same
particular
here.
segment. I'm excited to have, and I'm sure everyone is excited. So, blessings in the house. And we're going to be talking about special needs, all about special needs. But most times when we have interaction with individuals or in the specialist community, be it teachers, students, parents, and when you talk about special needs, there's this look of, oh, is that really a course? I know I've spoken with someone that said they gave me special needs. I wanted to apply,
Really?
I applied for education and they gave me special needs. Okay. So what we're trying to do with finding out with special needs is we're going to be talking about different topics. The first segment will talk about different realities, topics. Sometimes we'll teach, sometimes we'll talk about realities of the policies and everything that affects individuals with disability and children with special needs. And then we're going to be real in the second segment, which is a guest segment where we bring people like you up, and then you tell us what led you to the field of special needs. So before I go on with my question today, my first thing is why special needs? I know you just tell us about yourself first. Well, tell us about yourself, introduce yourself. Then secondly, why special needs? So I'll leave you to answer that question real quick. Welcome again.
Okay, so yeah, thank you. So quickly about myself. My name is Blessing Yape. Can you hear me well? Because my feedback from
Yes,
here sounds funny.
yes, it's clear, loud and clear at my end.
Okay, all right.
And for the
Okay, all right.
our
So I'm
participants, our audience, please, if you cannot hear us, let's know. But I can hear you loud and clear. So go on.
okay. So I'm Blessing Yape. Yes, I'm a certified special needs teacher. Actually got my training from the Cadet Academy.
Really,
The
I'm excited to hear
yes,
that. I know I'm
the
just like too funny.
opportunity.
Yeah, go
And
on.
yes, so my certification covers all the 13 disabilities in the IDA, but I just have a passion for children with dyslexia. So I've created a niche in that area, autism, Down syndrome, whatever it is. But I just have a special love for children with learning disabilities.
Mhm.
I thank God through that love. So that's what I do basically. I coach teachers, I work with schools, I also consult for schools as well. So let me not waste so much time talking about me. Let me go into why special needs. Now, the truth is, I really never knew there was a course like special needs, to tell you the truth. When I was going to school, I was going to study medicine.
Wow, I
So
didn't even know I
when
was telling
my
your story.
okay,
So go on, we're listening.
so when I applied for medicine. So I went to check for the school. And then I realized that I was given another course, which was zoology. I'm like, what do I want to do with zoology? What do I want to do with
Yeah,
animals? You
animals.
know?
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, exactly. So I was like, I want to change this course. I want to change this course. And they said, okay, I could change to psychology. So I said, okay, psychology. So why should I change to psychology? I said, let me just go get a degree. You understand? So one day I was in my uncle's office, which happens to work in the university where I got the admission. And I was going through the brochure while I was going through my admission process for psychology. And I saw special education. It was so real. I saw visual impairment, hearing impairment, learning disabilities. So I told him, I want to do this course. Can I change? I don't want psychology. I want this course. He was like, are you okay? I'm like, yes. He said, no, that people don't go for that course. People who go there are people who don't have any option, not even an option for psychology. So they choose between either going for that course or waiting. I said, I like it. I think it's practical. I mean, I don't want psychology. It sounds very theoretical. I want something practical. He said, well, if that's what you want, then go for it. Why are you going for this course? In fact, my roommate at that time told me that that course was for people that are blind and can't hear. I was like, are you serious? He said, yes, that is not for normal people like me. I'm like, I don't
Wow,
think so. But
wow,
let me go and find out from the faculty.
wow.
So when we have people who don't even know these courses exist, and then two, there is a knowledge gap where you can imagine she was telling me that the course is for blind people. So she didn't think it was for regular people in quotes to go and study. She just said if you're blind, you can't be in a regular law class, you can't be in medicine. So you have to be pushed into special education. So
Mhm.
that was how I got there. I love special education because it is practical. I'm someone who loves practical. Maybe that's why I'm a learning difficulty, a learning disability teacher, because I love things that are
Yeah,
practical. So I could see these things, I could relate to what they were saying, even as much as they were theoretical in my school, but it was still something that I just knew that I loved special education. I think when I finally discovered that it was something I was very passionate about was when I started working. I mean, it became more than just what I studied in school because I came to realize that there is more. After doing the course, the 13 weeks course, I realized that there is more. This is this is awesome. I mean, the things you get to do with children. And for me, what I always tell people that one thing I love about my job is that I can pick a child that parents have given up on, that teachers have given up on, that the society can given up on, and I can bring a star out of that child. That thing just makes me very excited. I look at
yeah,
all the kids I've worked with. I mean, and most of them, when you hear their stories, where they're coming from, They were the clown of their schools. Their teachers didn't believe in them. There were some that were told to go and do a craft. I mean, school is not for you. But they were brought to where I was able to teach them, and now they're back in school. That's my superpower, and I love it so much. So the fact that the keys that people have given I just love that part. It's like turning disabilities into gifts. I love it.
Wow, interesting.
So
Interesting.
that's it
The
for
two
me.
things you said just now, and
Thank
you
you.
know, I people often ask me, "Are you?" And this is me. People often ask me, "Are you sure you're a teacher?" You know, like people like, "Are you a teacher?" Because I'm like, "I'm a teacher. I teach children with special needs." Everyone in the most people, thank God for this. Thank God for these days now. Teachers are beginning to. Then back in the days, you want to associate yourself as to a teacher. Like you don't want to be seen as a teacher. I'm not just a teacher with of children with special needs. What is special needs? Do you understand? So that's I remember there's something you said just now.
Yes.
They gave
Yes.
me, they gave me, people saying they gave me, I wanted it, they gave me
Yes.
education. So the whole idea of this segment is to say, look, even when they throw you life, make lemonade out of it. Okay, it's possible that that's not what you want, but there's a for me,
Exactly.
Miss Bless, you actually wanted to actually change the psychology, but there was a reason. There's something about it wasn't for me. It wasn't coincidence. You are the
Yes.
future in this, and then God led you to see that
Yes.
there's a need, there's a gap here, and you need to fulfill it. And then I'm so thankful. I
Fit in.
appreciate you for answering. I say it's a call. I appreciate you for answering the call. And I've known you for
Yes.
quite a
It
while.
is.
I
Thank
see the
you.
way, the passion, the way you go about your duty when it comes to special needs, the way you portray the field, the way you don't make it look like it's boring. You don't make it look like we are just doing it because there's nothing else we can do. What motivated you beyond okay now? Okay, so you changed to special needs, you got more training from cadet academy, and then
Yes.
what gave you that idea to make it unique? What stood out for you? What did you ever think of? Because sometimes when people say to me, "Are you a teacher?" It brings the memory of
Yes.
teachers of those days. And then when I see some teachers these days, I'm
Yes.
like, guys, this is no, it doesn't mean we should look like a sorry case. What what changed your mindset about all of this? I don't know if you get what I'm trying to ask you.
Okay. Yeah, I get your question. I get your question. Okay, I think two answers to that question. And one of them is that I asked myself, how do I want to be taught? So if I was a student in a class, what would make learning interesting for me? How would I want my teacher to teach me? So that was one thing that I kept thinking about too. I don't want, and I remember my teachers. I know the boring teachers. I know the classes I didn't want to be a part of. And I asked myself questions. Why didn't I want to be a part of this class? Why didn't I like this particular teacher? Why didn't I want to be in school in this particular day? And that helped me to answer the question. And then secondly, research. Getting to relate with teachers outside my zone, getting to relate with younger teachers in other environments, seeing what is happening. I mean, when you look at the internet, just type on Google now and ask fun ways to teach two times table. You're going to see amazing fun things that if you start teaching, your kids will not even want you to stop. So for me, those two things. One, how do I want to be taught? Do I want a boring teacher? What kind of teacher do I want for myself? And then I become that teacher to my students. And then two, I look around the world. I look around what teachers are doing. There's something I've learned. Nothing is new under the sun. You just haven't discovered it. So whatever you don't know, someone is doing it somewhere. There is nothing that is new at all. I mean, here is evening, somewhere else is morning. They're already in the next day. So it might be a new day here, but for them, they've seen the next day already. So it's just for me to go around and find out. So those two things actually motivated me to bring in creativity into my classroom. And I also like to add that in researching and in working with these kids, I've come to realize that you teach kids the way they want to learn. I think what most teachers do these days, they teach kids the way they learn. I mean, this is who I am blessing, and this is how you should learn. But no, you are Adamu. How do you want to learn, Adamu? Okay, this is how I'm going to teach you. You are Chioma. How do you want to learn? This is how I'm going to teach you. And it makes learning so exciting because for me, I don't want to bore my kids. I don't want them to see me coming and they're like, oh, Miss Leslie is
That's
coming
very
again.
important
I
because
want them to
I've
see me
seen
coming and they're
cases where,
excited. Yes,
when the child is coming, especially when you're a
exactly. Yes,
therapist
I'm
and you're
hearing
coming, the
you.
child just start crying, or the child present as if he's sleeping, or just doesn't want you, saying bye bye, it's just not, you're arriving. You need to rethink the how of your teaching. You to rethink it. Very good, very nice point there. Thank you. Please go on. I'm sorry to cut you short right now.
Okay, so that's basically it.
Interesting.
All right, give
I
me a
hope
minute.
we're learning. I hope we're all learning. Thank you for everyone who has joined in. I can see you all. Augustine, Pamela, Aliu, Rita, Ovudu, Sharon, Equated. Thank you all for joining in. Like I said, this segment will be a segment where we'll be talking to individuals in the space of special needs, be it teachers, parents, whoever it is. Policymakers will be coming up to tell us what their thoughts are and how we can move the field of special needs to the next level. So Ms. Blessing has said to us today, I've learned several things from her. The first thing she said is, it doesn't matter. Understand the reason you are in a place. So she found herself in special needs. She was excited about the practicality of seeing something that wasn't before becoming in your very eye because of what you're doing. So put in all of what you have into it, in ensuring that the world is a better place for individuals, especially. You just want to come and just fill in a space or a gap. You don't want to just be a number in the crowd. You want to be able to stand out and say, I'm indeed making a difference in the lives of these children. And she also said she's done a lot of researches. Do a lot. Look, there's nothing on the sun like she has said. Talk to people, reach out to her, reach out to me, reach out to other educators. And before you know it, we are actually making the world a better place for individuals with disabilities. Now, Miss Blessing, I have another question for you. Would you consider yourself a trendy person? Because teachers are not meant to be trendy
Okay.
according to some school of thought. And why
Ah,
why did you choose to be if yes, why did you choose to be a trendy teacher?
I'm trendy. I am
A trendy.
young.
So when you get old, you're not going to be trendy anymore, right? Is that what you're saying to us?
I'm still going to be trendy. No, not at all. I think, like I heard today, it's someone who is about 45 years was talking to me today. And he was talking to them. And he doesn't like the idea of joining old people. Now, when he was even talking about old people, he was saying circle that are younger than him, they behave old, act old, live old, talk old. That no, he's not old. So I think first of all, it's a mindset. One is a mindset, and then two, this living where you are. Sometimes when you're just where you are, you don't even understand what's happening in the world. You're just a local champion. That's the thing. You're just seeing some teachers. Imagine the only teachers I could remember. I wouldn't have known that there's a different perspective of teaching. I think one, meeting other teachers also helped. Okay, seeing how other teachers are doing their things gave me a view of the kind of teacher I can be. And then, okay, I set mindset, and then even the children I'm teaching, like I said, I personally don't want an old teacher who just comes in and how the teachers dress. As long as I'm not naked, I'm dressing well and dressing fine. It doesn't matter at all. I was in a group and they were talking about trendy teachers. I mean, that her nails were colored. And some people were against it. I'm like, what's wrong with her nails being colored? Can't she polish her nails? the only reason why you shouldn't polish your nails is if they affect your students. But for me, I even use my nail polish to teach. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
have green hair, blue hair, and that's what we're going to learn how to. That's what we're how
Colors,
we're going to learn that day.
colors,
And
yeah,
girls in my class love it. I mean, they are happy. They,
yes.
they are happy. They're like, oh, okay. So I'll tell you that if you get the right color, I'm going to put it on your finger. So they're trying all their best to get the right color so that they can have it on their fingers. I'm like, okay, what color do I have here on my pinky finger? Miss Blessing, you have red? No, sorry, that's not red. So you're not going to get on your own finger. How about you? What color do I have on my index finger? That's green. Great, bring your finger. You get a green
Good,
on your
good.
hand too. So
Yes.
I mean, for me, I don't know. It's just a mindset. I think
Yes.
people should travel. Even if you can't travel, you can stay where you are and check out things. I mean, we have meetings right now going all over the world. You can be here and be in the US, you can be here and be in the UK, you can be here and be in India, you can be here and be anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So open, look at what is happening. I mean, there are even Instagram pages. We have what's the name of this Instagram page? There's an Instagram page for teachers where they just post how they are having fun. You see
Mm-hmm.
hashtag teacher, they are
Yes,
in Dubai for a holiday.
absolutely.
Hashtag teacher, they're in the UK for a holiday. So
So
when you see all of
teaching is
those
not
things, you're like,
boring. It
oh
doesn't have to be
wow,
all
there is
boring.
more teaching.
Yes, yes, yes.
It
So very, very,
is
very important point there.
not.
Yes. And I think like you said, it's a mindset
It is
thing
not
because
boring
when you do not free
at
your own
all.
mind,
So I think the exactly.
you need to free your mind. You need to tell
Yes.
yourself you're good enough. You need to tell yourself you can do this. And because it's whatever you carry as a person, as an individual,
Mm-hmm.
that you'll be able to give out to these children. You don't want to be
Yes.
looking sad and haggard and very
Yes.
miserable. That's not where these children will learn from you. Our children with special needs are very,
But
very
I remember an
sensitive.
experience.
Yeah, please
Yeah.
share with us.
I remember an experience. Yes, I went for a classroom support. So there's this particular teacher that is I've noticed he's always dressing tattered. Either the shoe is dusty or he's not talking in well. So that particular day, he came in and he was well dressed, well talked, he had his tie. And then one of the kids looked at him and said, wow, Mr. So and so, you are well dressed today. So one of the students now looked at him and said, are you saying he's not
Obviously.
always dressing well? And I mean, well. And they were now happy that he was dressing well. Mr. So and so,
Yeah.
you're dressing well today. And one of the kids
Yeah.
was like, are you saying that he has not been dressing well before?
So, some things we really take for granted. These kids are watching. They watch, they see your body language, your
Yes.
expression, and all of that also
Mm-hmm.
contributes to how much you can reach out to them as a teacher. So please, for children, teachers of children with special needs
Exactly.
particularly, you have a lot of work to do. Your appearance, your
Mm-hmm.
countenance, everything
Yeah.
about you, you need to be joyful. You need to do it love. I always say to people, if you do not belong to this field, there's no need coming because everything about you will
Exactly.
affect our children with special needs. Very, 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 very important.
Mm,
You need to thank you for that, Miss Blessing.
it
So
is.
I'm going to ask you another
You're
question real
welcome.
quick, okay? And the question is, would you be kind enough to explain to us the difference between a special needs educator
Okay.
and a general educator?
Okay. Wow. There is actually okay. Recently, I've been pushing a movement because research has said that learning disabilities are actually dyslexia specifically is one of the most popular disabilities you see in the classroom.
Yes,
And then
absolutely.
one
Yeah.
in five kids have dyslexia. Yes.
True,
So the
true.
first thing I've been telling regular educators is that you need to learn how to meet the needs of different learners. But if you look at special education, that is what we do.
Mhm.
Because you have a child with Down syndrome, it doesn't mean that child can't learn, but it means there's a particular way that child is going to learn. Okay. So we're not even starting first with telling you that, okay, learn how to teach a child with Down syndrome or autism. But first of all, start with the kids in your class, which are kids with diverse learners. As a
Mhm.
teacher, whether you're a specialist teacher or you're not, you should be able to meet the needs of a diverse learner, of a child with dyslexia. But if you're not asking specifically what the difference is, well, for me, I see myself, I mean, it's an advantage to be a special needs teacher because I can be a regular teacher. In fact, I'm an all-round teacher. I see that what are limited special needs student as well. Okay. So one, I would say one the training, yeah, because like what has made me different from you who is a regular teacher is because I've received this training. I've been trained on how to teach diverse learners.
Mhm.
Okay. And then I think that's just the major difference. The major difference in training as opposed to any other thing.
So would you say now, I'm gonna have to blow the
Yes.
trumpet of special needs teachers, special educators. Would you say we are teachers and extra?
Yes.
We are extra. We are that we are that icing on the cake. We are the extra, right? Get me right. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Aside, because I was
Yes.
about adding that, aside from the training we got, every other thing is something they can also do. You can be patient, you can
Yes.
love, you can be
Yes.
faithful, you can research, you can be committed. So the only thing we do is I will just put in extra of all of these things. We put in extra love, extra commitment, extra research, extra money because you need money to get trained. I mean,
Absolutely.
just imagine going
Absolutely.
for your training now.
Yes. Yes.
Teachers will tell you,
Funding.
I don't have the money, I don't have the
Mm,
money. So what
mm,
exactly what's going to make a regular teacher today become a special needs teacher is that they were willing to invest more money in paying for your training and getting
mhm.
trained.
True.
Exactly. So I
True.
think it's just that we are more into the job. I think we love teaching more than regular teachers.
So
We have
I also say that
committed.
we are the doctors of the education world. We are the doctor. We fix it all. We fix all those
That's
learning
right.
disability.
We
We
fixed
fix
it all.
the dyslexia. We fix the dysgraphia. We fix autism when it comes to learning. So guys, and why I'm excited about this segment is
Autism.
we fix it
We
all.
are
We
that's
are
our
the doctors in
superpower.
and the reason I'm excited about this segment, especially for the teachers, for the rookie teachers, for the upcoming teachers. Look, even if you're just a graduate, you're about to um,
Yeah.
consider a course of study, because one of the solutions we thought of during the roundtable
Graduate from
conference we had, no, even when you
mm-hmm.
just graduate from secondary school, like thinking of a course to consider. Look, there's no
Yeah,
better
make it
for
let me
me.
know.
Yeah, that for me, and I'm saying this because um, what makes you relevant in life is ability to solve a problem. Just the way back in the days you feel, oh, if I'm not a doctor, then I'm not lucrative enough, I won't have enough wealth. Beyond the wealth, what solution would you be solving? And the truth is that there's a gap in the field of special needs. And not just because there's a gap, you are going to be solving some problems. You'll be solution provider because there is a gap in speech therapy, there is a gap in reading specialists, there's a gap with working with
Yes,
children. Consider it as a
everywhere.
secondary, I think that's the right word. Consider special needs. It's not
Nurses,
all boring. It's not all boring. I mean,
barbers.
every course has its own up and down. Every course has its own up and down, but I'm telling you, look at 5, 10 years from now, special needs is going to be the real
Mm-mm.
thing. And
No.
it's not about the money, actually. Plan to make a difference. Once you keep solving the problem in life, you can never become irrelevant. So, and a
Yeah,
good place to find a way to solve problem is by considering
exactly.
special needs education. Thank you for that statement, Ms. Joanne. You said
Mm-hmm.
special educators rock. Okay, even in the advanced country, it is important. Special education is very important. So don't feel like they gave me special needs. We be the one to
That's
run for
right.
special needs. Please, be the one to run for speech therapy. Be the
Exactly.
one,
They
look
gave
for those
me.
courses because you're going to make a difference. And there's no amount of money that you'll be paid. What makes me
Mm-hmm.
wake up every day and I feel fulfilled is that I remember this child 4, 5 years ago. I remember this child 2 years ago. I remember that child that walked up to me that could not read. I know that child that could not even understand what the word sit down is or stand up. That joy, that fulfillment enough is enough for you to consider. So I'm
Yeah.
appealing to you. So please consider specialists as a course because
Mm-hmm.
we're thinking that will also make, it will help us in the
Yes.
educational field, especially in the field of specialist educator. Now, Ms. Blessing, there's something that I know I've had this discussion with you in time past, but
Yeah.
I understand the importance of mentorship and
Okay.
having mentees because there's one thing for you to be good, and there's another thing for you to be good in what you're doing, and there's another thing for you to die with what you have without passing it
Wow.
on. So I want you to tell us your experience as having, I know you have mentors. You always talk about your mentors, and that you're saying that gets everybody crazy. If you don't have a mentor, you're a cockroach. I know all that. Above that, beyond that, because
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there are levels there are levels in life you get to that you need to move to greater things. How about mentees? You have mentees, and what are those things that you
Yeah.
feel that you're giving out to? So, for example, those who are not your mentees right now. If they don't have mentees, what advice will
Yeah.
you give? And then, what has been the benefit of mentorship to you in this field of special needs?
Okay. I love, I love the idea of mentorship because one, I wouldn't have even been here without mentorship. So that God has made it. It is His system. Because whatever we're doing, I believe that is for generations. Is that we should put posterity in view. It's just like
Mhm.
Cadet Academy is here. Is this live show? Then you're going to be thinking mentorship. You're going to be thinking getting someone to help you. Like for me, I'm an example of how mentorship and coaching has helped me. Just in case you don't know, Ms. Lola is my mentor in
Woo!
special needs education. And but almost everybody knows because I sing it everywhere. So, but just in case you don't know, now you know. And I remember when I left school, I always told you that Cadet Academy was my university because I
Mhm.
didn't know what I was doing. I was just enjoying the fact that, well, it's practical. I didn't even know where am I going to work when I leave here. I I had no idea all us. I mean, we're just doing it because we loved it. But when I met you and you started mentoring me, what does that mean? Showing me the way you've been there before. So you were showing me how it should be done. And the thing about mentorship that I love the most is that where you have spent 10 years, I don't have to spend 10 years again. You tell me that, you know what, this is what I did, this is what I did. So where you spend 10 years, I'm spending just 2 years. So
Mhm.
one mentorship brings the gap. I mean, what you would have spent thousands of years doing, your mentor tells you that, you know what, don't go there. You have to do this 40 years like this. A mentor makes the road very short for you. And then two, a mentor. I mean, I know how many times you have corrected me, and it's not just you, all my mentors. Sometimes I post something and then I make an error. They just screen grab, screenshot it, bam, and go and show me my inbox. This is not correct. This is how you should do it. This is the way you should do it. And I've grown so far because of mentors. I mean, right now, I can't even imagine my life without mentors. Even here in special education, in my spiritual life, mentors are everywhere. Mentors are everywhere.
Hello, Miss Blessing. Okay, so while we wait for Miss Blessing to come back, would we'll just keep talking, okay? So she had told us, if you're listening, because the whole idea of this segment is to be able to see the beauty in everything called special education, okay? Whether as a teacher, as a parent, as an inclusive educator, as a school owner. Miss Blessing is back. Good to have you back. So yeah, go on.
Okay, I didn't
Go
know I was
on.
done. I was still talking to
Yeah.
myself, and I
So
was
you were
saying
talking
I
about the
finished
importance
myself.
of mentorship and having
Okay.
men. Yeah. So when you are done with mentorship, tell us the importance of having mentees also. Okay. So I'll still I'll talk I'll keep talking while we have Miss Blessing back. We all understand the peculiarity of our nation, so let's not let that affect us. So it's important, for you, I mean, in the field of special needs, particularly to identify someone who had been on that path journey before, because like people always say, experience is the best teacher. But for me, experience of other people will teach you to do better. So identify that person who you know that this person is going the route I would love to go, and have that person show you the way. And we make a lot of mistakes. Being a mentor doesn't mean you want the person to do everything for you. Most times we may make the mistake of wanting to ask and ask and ask and ask without we also showing that we've done something. So be a good so to say mentee by always willing to give also. Oh, I've learned this. There's something that I learned as a Christian. It's more blessed to give than to receive. Yes, you want the mentor, but it's not about always taking from the mentor. So identify that mentor, learn to give, and it doesn't have to be all physical gifts. A word, how are you today? How are you doing today? Or just if they're having program, join up in their program, support them in every way so that they know you are in tune. Imagine you say you want someone to be your mentor. I don't even know anything about what that person is doing, and they just say, "Oh, do you remember this time?" You cannot send about it. It does not make any sense, and that person will not even be willing to be your mentor. And of course, it's also important for you to once you've acquired that knowledge, Miss Blessings back. I'll let her quickly round up on this question, and then we'll take a final word from her. Miss Blessing, okay, can you hear me? Can you speak? Can you hear me? Hello.
Hear you. Yes.
Okay.
So I think I've said so much about. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so let me just move to mentee. I know I've spoken a lot about mentorship already, about having mentors already. Now, about having mentees. For posterity, whatever you're doing, like you always say, if you don't have a successor, you're a failure. So does it mean that all these kids were changing their lives now? If I go, I mean, there's no one who can teach them. There's nowhere they can get help from. I can't say I'm a success, and I can't say I've affected their lives. So whatever we're doing is for nations and it's for generations. It's for posterity. It means that if I'm not here today, I should have, yes, I should have people who can still work with these kids. I should have someone, okay, because people need to know how to do this thing too, not just me. So I can't sit down here and say, the chief of dyslexia, only me can teach kids with dyslexia. We have billions of people on earth. How many kids can I reach? And if anything happens to me today, does it mean these kids won't get help anymore? So we also talk about having people we can mentor. It's so that we can have a legacy, so that we can have something that continues, so that we can multiply our effect. It's more like teamwork. Alone, you do so little. But by the time a team comes together, they are able to do much more. We are able to affect people in different states, in different worlds, in different countries. I mean, you got your training at Meredith. From Meredith, you came over here and you've trained us. And I'm happy about this because I know in the past, in the next weeks to come, people you have put this seed in. And we're in different states doing amazing things and touching children. That's how it should be for everyone. So it's not just about being a dyslexia coach, Lolas, being able to multiply coach blessings so that we have more people and then we can help more kids.
Fantastic, fantastic. I do not intend to keep it for too long, but the whole essence, like I said, of this segment is it is doable. Okay, special needs not all about trouble or negativity. Special needs has something beautiful in it, and Miss Blessings that one of those beautiful things we're sharing today. More people will come up to tell you the beautiful experiences they've had. Children with special needs will also be joining us from time to time, and their parents, and they'll tell you the beauties, all of the various beautiful experiences of having of being in the world of special needs and disabilities. Okay, we keep talking about, excuse me, we keep talking about the beauty of special needs. So we'll be talking about a lot of things that relate to special needs. I want to thank you so much for taking time out to join us today. It is possible, it is doable. There's beauty in special needs. It's all we're trying to say. We're talking about awareness. People think when they think special, they think negative. We want to change that narrative by showing and exhibiting our success stories, individuals who are special needs educators, therapists, children who were in level 0 and have moved up to level 100 and level 50. All of these experiences is one of the ways we're going to use to create awareness and provide advocacy for individuals living with disability and or special needs. Miss Blessing, before you go, my plan was just to us have this in just an hour, but I knew I anticipated this that it's going to be so interesting. I will go further than. I don't want us to go beyond this limit. Can you just give us one last word? So
Okay.
just pick anyone, be it a parent, a teacher, a
Okay.
child with special needs, an individual out there who is considering the field of special needs. What advice do you have for them today? It can be every of those people I've mentioned, but just what advice would you have for them?
On generally, but even everybody, you need to understand that one, there are no limits. I always say every child can learn. I mean, it doesn't matter who the child is, it doesn't matter what the disability the child is. The child can learn. There is a way that that child can learn, and we all need to know that. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're a teacher, you need to know it so you can know how to teach them. If you're a social worker, you need to know it so you can know how to teach children. I always say advocacy is not just for parents and teachers with special needs. Even you, as a banker, if you know about special needs, you get to advocate for people with special needs in your office, wherever you are, in the marketplace, so that things can be created for them to make work or learning easier for them. So you need to understand that there are no limits. Every child can learn. And then for teachers, I've been saying it, learning how to teach diverse learners has become a 21st century skill. Get
Of course, the one that
So I
can
believe
teach
you're
everything.
definitely going to choose the teacher that can teach all kids,
Definitely,
either
definitely,
regular
definitely,
or not regular.
definitely. Oh wow, I was about to let Miss Blessing go, but I think I need to actually cut her out. But you've said it all. You've said it all. The beauty in special education needs, the need to be meeting is not, it cannot, I mean, it's unquantifiable. I'm bringing her back real quick. Yeah, Miss Blessing, we lost you for a bit, but I
When did
guess
I even stop? Anyway, okay.
yeah, you were trying to tell
Yes,
us
I was
that it's
I was just
important.
rounding up.
Yeah, yes, 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 yes.
Yes, it's important to get trained because I believe the world is getting to a place where teachers are going to be sought after, are teachers that can meet the needs of
Of
different
all
kids.
learners, of all learners, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you
I mean,
so
I
much for
believe
your
that's where the world is going to. Thank you so much,
thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Miss Blessing. We totally appreciate you, your time. Although the network was a bit it was fluctuating, but then we still got value from you. Thank you so much. I hope when we call on you next time, you oblige us your presence. Please do. Thank you. And I want to believe everyone has taken away
Definitely.
one or two things today. I'll let you go now, Miss Blessing, while we run off. Thank you so much for your time and have a good evening. So everyone,
All right. Okay.
we're about to
Thank
wrap
you.
up, but just to make to explain what special needs, finding out what special needs is all about. So the daily podcast, which is speed dial, is the one we hear mostly trainings on specific topics. The special needs, finding out what special needs to do weekly. We'll talk about different topics. Okay, It could be trainings, it could be teachings, it could be realities, it could be policies, whatever it is that has to do with special needs. And then we have our guests come up. We just want to showcase the beauty of everything that has to do with special education, or we, the parent, the child, and the teachers working, teaching the child. We want the world to know that there's beauty in everything that has to do with special needs and disabilities. And we need to see people, and we need to, because the truth is that it's not enough for us to just talk about it. But when you bring such individuals, then you bring special educators up, educators up, you bring teachers up, you bring parents up, the children themselves up, people can actually relate with us and say that, oh, for real. A lot of people don't even know what it means to be a special needs educator. They don't know what it means to be a special, to have a special needs teacher around, a special needs child, or a parent with special needs, or a child with special needs. Okay, so this is the whole essence of the Finding Up with Special Needs, the weekly broadcast, and the segment that has the guest. So if you have any question right now, we're more than happy to answer your question. Any question right now? Miss Blessing will soon come up. If you are directing it out to Miss Blessing, I'll have her come up because she's still online. But I just wanted her to take a break for a bit. Any question? Thank you all for your contribution. I see you, Miriam Adewale, Pamela Augustine Minido, Ogwadema Ifeyiwa. Thank you. Thank you, Tiza Joan. Thank you, Rita Ovudo, Miriam Ayuba, Elizabeth. Every one of you, we totally appreciate you coming, like Fair Victoria. Thank you so much. Your contribution is welcome at this moment, your questions, and I thank you for all the contributions. I saw some contributions. I saw if it doesn't work through the front door, try the back door or the window. Yes, we have to find a way to ensure that our children with special needs actually learn. Having mentors keep you going. There's always crossroad with lots of puzzles. My mentor is Miss Ella Oshikoya. Thank you for that contribution. We're going to have Miss Oshikoya up here one of these days to just tell us more about. Yes, so we have Together Everyone Achieve Much. Thank you everyone for your contribution. Yes, thank you, Miss Kayla. The first person, this is my potential, was Miss Ogwadima. Thank you, Miss Ogwadima. And Miss Lola. Okay, I thank myself too. Oh yeah, so thank you everyone. There's a huge gap. Okay, I want to ask the question, difference between a special needs educator and a regular general educator. Ms. Kayla made a contribution and says there's a huge gap between regular, okay, there's a huge gap. Regular classroom teachers don't know how to teach children with learning disabilities and developmental disabilities. Sometimes we have that, but thankfully these days they're beginning to know. So yeah, there's a difference also. Yes, very true, Ms. Kayla. And a lot more. Yeah, even in Western world, they are the same. Special education has extra in everything. Thank you, Mr. Aliyu, for that. Special needs teacher go extra mile. Wow, we must see results and positive ones. Very important. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for your contribution. Children, watch out for our appearances and countenance. Don't be a boring teacher. You just heard that. Thank you, Ms. Chikoli, for that. Ms. Mimido said, children see everything we do. Yes, they do. And everything we do makes it fun for them, particularly our children with special needs. Happy and fun teachers make a happy and fun student. Thank you for that contribution, Ms. Joanne. Yes, thank you, Mr. Rotimi, for joining. Thank you, everyone, for your time. Thank you, Komola Fair Victoria. I've mentioned everyone. Thank you, Mrs. Bankole. Oh, thank you so much for joining in, Ms. Olushola Bankole. So this will be the end for today's weekly program on Finding Up with Special Needs. We'll see you again next week, and we're going to be having more guests coming up next week again to share with us on the beauties of special needs. Until I come your way next time, I remain Lola Aneke. I think I'll have Miss Blessing say a goodbye just before I go. Hello, Miss Blessing. Are you still with us? Miss Blessing, are you still with us? Okay, I think she's gone, but I'm sure she's excited about today's show, and she wishes all possible. But I have something to tell you before I go. Please, for those of us listening, let's build a good culture. Let's show that we learned something at during this segment or during every of this Finding Up with Special Needs weekly broadcast. I want us all to identify our mentors and appreciate them. Thank them for all that they've done to you. Fine, if it's just once a week, send them wishes, good wishes. if it's once a month, a New Year greeting, a New Year month greeting, reach out to them, because like I said, it's not all about taking away from them. Support them when they have programs. Let's learn a culture that we can say, yes, indeed, there's something, that various good things you can learn about being a special educator. And I want you to also identify one person that you think might do well in the field of specialists and bring them on board. Let's make the community a greater one. Encourage them to go study courses that relate to specialists, so that we can be, the more the merrier, they say, so that we can indeed make the world a better place for our children living with disability. Until I come your way next time, I remain yours truly, yours sincerely, Lola Aneke. Thank you and goodbye.